about here. I'm not here promoting eating disorders. I'm here trying to show the real raw struggles of them and like the impacts that it does. So after procrastinating yet again, hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so here's a little trigger warning. Because I am talking about my struggles with an eating disorder. And I'm also going to put in that I'm not in recovery at the moment. I'm struggling quite a lot with it at the moment. How many times am I going to say at the moment in 2-3 sentences? Anyway, okay, so as per usual, I have my little notes in my handy. Ow. In my handy dandy. Notes in my handy. Ow. Handy diary that you see in every Sunday video. I have some sensory toys because, you know, a bit anxious. Very distant. Like this, I've never really been open about this. Like, it's always been behind closed doors. It's my little skeleton in my closet, I guess you could say. So I'm not going to be mentioning weight, calories, numbers, except for if it's times, like hours or weeks or whatever, such and such years. But I will not be mentioning weight and calories and all that type of stuff because that's really triggering. And whew, let's get started. I'm going to play with this putty first because why not? Ugh! Ow! My nails! Okay, so this is the second time I'm filming this because the first time didn't even record. Speaking of, I'm quickly going to go check the camera to see if it is recording. So, this all started at the age of 6. I know, 6 years old, almost 10 years ago. Ugh. I'm going to put my phone. So, as you know, in my other mental health story video, if you haven't checked that out, I will link that in the description box below. I was called fat at the age of 6. I know, what a society this is. Oh, I was told I need to cut out carbs because I was gaining too much weight and that I was fat. Except I wasn't. I was actually a healthy weight. I was on the lower end of healthy at that age anyway. Now this putty's annoying me. Oh, don't want to get fluff in it. Okay, so I then cut out bread and cheese, potatoes, all things with like lots of carbs, fats and all that, starch. I like this putty. So my diet pretty much consisted of fruit and veggies. A 6-year-old actually, was only eating fruits and veg. Not very normal. So that was I've had very disordered eating for my whole life. And then at the age of 7, I was just being very healthy. Oh my god, we love ticks. I was being very healthy. Oh my god, please do not have a tick attack in the middle of a video. Okay, let's keep going. So, at the age of 7, I was just being very healthy. Normal healthy stuff, blah blah blah. Wasn't eating much junk food, didn't even eat cake for years, and I still don't eat much cake. Wow, that coach really scarred me. But at the age of 8 I started trampolining.
I broke my foot a lot in trampolining, so I was always doing a lot of core work and strength training because I couldn't jump or whatever. So
and I started trampolining. I started around the same time as this other girl. And she was very skinny. I'm not going to mention her name because privacy reasons, but we ended up being really close. She was very skinny and, as any normal kid, had rolls. I had rolls. She did not. I was very self-conscious of my rolls and I then developed body dysmorphia. I've had body dysmorphia for years. But I then started to read food labels. I wasn't really looking for anything in particular. I was just wanting to know what I was eating. And that continued through the age of 9. I just realised I'm going to be doing a lot of editing because I'm ticking a lot. Okay. At the age of 10, I'm trying to get through this fast. Why, Ashlyn? Slow down. At the age of 10, I started to over-exercise a lot. When I say over-exercise, I'm just going to put a little disclaimer. Me over-exercising 3 hours was my limit, but some people do more and some people do less. That is classified over-exercising anyway. Over-exercising is pushing your body past the limit that it can hold. Past the limit that it can hold? Past its breaking point? I don't know, I think you guys get what I mean. Anyway. So then at the age of 11, my back is sore. Oh my god! At the age of 11, I had my first self-harm incident because I was being bullied and I thought, which was very irrational, I thought I was taking up too much space. At the age of 11, how disordered thoughts is that? Disordered thoughts? Oh my god, why can't I English? I just realised you guys are going to have some funny content. It's a bit funny. Okay, I'm a bit anxious if you could tell. So I then was just feeling so low about myself for years that, but I wasn't doing anything to change it because I didn't really know anything about it. And then I turned 12. This is where it starts getting bad. So this is going to be a major trigger warning now because we're getting into some eating disorder behaviours and some very irrational thoughts and all that type of stuff. So, yeah. At the age of 12, I just stopped eating. I don't know why, I just kind of stopped. I developed Alex. You guys are probably sitting there, who's Alex? What's Alex? Alex is my eating disorder. So, Alex is a little voice in my head, which he's not very happy that I'm talking about him right now, but he's a little voice in my head that is very close to me actually. I know. Yeah, blah, blah. Yes. I'm probably going to get some mean comments, but I'm trying to spread awareness, express myself in a way that I love. And he just, I guess, told me to stop eating. So I had a 3-day fast. And when I say fast, I mean I wasn't eating, I was just drinking. So that's technically called a water fast. There's multiple different types of fasting. There's intermittent fasting, there's water fasting, there's liquid fasting. So there's lots of different types, but none of them are actually safe. None of them are safe ways, not even intermittent fasting. Then they're a horrible way to lose weight. So, and it wasn't very lovely. So then at the age of 13, I had discovered calories, laxatives and purging. And I was struggling a lot with ED behaviours at that time, and I just dislocated my finger. There you go. So I was struggling a lot with my eating disorder behaviours then, but anyway. So I then slowly started to become underweight. I was losing a lot of weight very quickly, and nobody really noticed because, again, I was very closed about it. Like, not many people knew. My CAMS workers didn't know, my parents didn't know, and all this type of stuff. So then I went to Bali and my body was so deprived of food that I was just binging constantly. Throughout the 10 days that we were there, I ended up gaining X amount of kilos. It wasn't a lot, but it did bring me back into a healthy weight range. At the age of 13 and a half, I relapsed. So from the age of 13 to 13 and a half, I was getting onto the recovery journey. But I didn't really know I was. I just was putting in an effort to move on with my life because it was exhausting, restricting my eating, counting my calories, just all of it was so hard. So at 13 and a half, I was relapsing. I then started to restrict again. I was over exercising. I was engaging in all of my eating disorder behaviours again, and it was a mess. I didn't lose too much weight that time, but I did still lose some weight. Then at 14, this is kind of where it goes downhill a lot. At the age of 14, I was fasting a lot, and I then was binging and purging 3 or 4 times a week. And if you guys don't know what purging is where you make yourself throw up. But purging is not a weight loss strategy. It only gets rid of 50% of the calories that you consume, and it is very dangerous to start doing. And it's any time you do it. If you just do it once, if you do it a million times, it's very, very dangerous. I can't stress to you guys enough how hard it is to have an eating disorder. No, I do not want to cry. It's really hard to live with an eating disorder and having these thoughts all the time. I'm quickly going to check if the camera's rolling. So, eating disorders is one of the most dangerous mental health illnesses you can have. It kills a fair few of the strugglers, and it's really dangerous. But having these thoughts in your head all the time is exhausting. From the minute you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, your head is just consumed full of calories, thinking how many calories are in something, thinking how much you've put on today, thinking of how much you're going to lose tomorrow. It's so exhausting. And you're then, half the time I wake up in the middle of the night just thinking of calories, having nightmares of calories. Just, it's a horrible struggle. My hair has begun to fall out yet again. I'm always cold. It's really hard. So I then had my first inpatient admission at the middle of 2017, so July 2017, and I was barely eating in that admission, but I didn't have any diagnoses and I wasn't underweight, so no one took me seriously. But I also want to say that you don't have to be underweight to be anorexic. It was just the thought that I had in my head, no one's going to take me seriously until I'm underweight, and it really doesn't change. It's a pretty messed up system. I will do a video on that, on how messed up the system is and what the system can actually do to help support the kids better. But not in today's video. So I would start to self-harm if I overate. If I binged and purged, I would be self-harming. I was abusing my laxatives. I then developed OCD when it came to my chewing, when it came to how many things I would eat, when it came to... Okay, so I'm sorry if the camera position has changed. My card was full. What is new? Ashlyn doesn't know how to record a YouTube video. But what I was up to is I then developed OCD with my chewing and with separating food. So say I was having a fruit salad, I'd have to eat all the apples first and the pear, then the banana, and I couldn't move on to something until all the rest of it was gone, if that makes sense. Anyway, so then when I was 15, I got my anorexia BP diagnosis. So when I say BP, it's an anorexia binge purge subtype. So it's a category of anorexia where you binge and purge. So then I got myself into this horrible cycle of fasting and then binging and purging and then purging, and I purged everything for a certain amount of time. I'm not going to say that because it could be triggering to others. So I would self-harm whenever I binged, like whenever I binged and then whenever I binged and purged, and I used severe laxative abuse, and I then developed OCD over numbers of calories, and it had to be an even number, and then I had to have an even number of like food items. No, I always eat in 5s or 10s and certain shots. 3 is a minimum safe food. Minimum safe number. So I can eat 3s, but I prefer not to. And it was a mess, and it still is. And now I'm in the now. I'm really struggling with my eating disorder. I know usually most of these, my anorexia story or my eating disorder recovery is usually of their recovery, their struggles, and then their recovery. But I want to do one where it's me struggling now, because you don't see many of them. So this is me in the now, struggling at my worst. But there is some good news in this. I haven't actually binged and purged in about 3 months, and I haven't abused laxatives in about 5, which is really good for me, because I would be doing those eating disorder behaviours so much, but I've kind of moved on to just fasting and restricting now. I'm trying to move forward, and I'm trying to get out of this slump, but I just kind of can't, as Alex is controlling me constantly. And if I talk bad of him, he increases the fast day more. But I know this was a bit of more of a sad and raw video, but I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that I hope I can get at least one person to understand more about eating disorders and others, just how hard it actually is, and it's not just easy when someone tells you to eat something. Like, it's just not that easy. But I hope you do like it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions about my eating disorder, or if you have any questions or comments, if you have any video suggestion ideas, just comment that down below, because I will look at them all and I will reply to some. I say some, but I mean, I don't have that many subscribers, so I'll probably reply to them all. And if you share my channel, that will be fantastic, and because then I can have more of you guys watching and me spreading awareness about Ehlers-Danlos and an eating disorder and all of the mental health issues for you guys, so you guys can all understand what it's really like. And one day I might do a sensory box tour, because I love my sensory items, or I might do that in a vlog, I'm not too sure yet. But subscribe if you're new, and I love you all so much. Bye.